Alrighty, so we are going to be practicing how to put in a freight plan. Sorry, I've got hiccups right now. So I want you to log into the test Salesforce and make sure that the ending has .dc full and you log in with your password. If you forget your password, you can email me and I will get it set up for you. So we are going to start with loads because we want to start making our basic load. So the freight quote or freight plan that I'm going to enter first is going to be based off of your practice question, number 1. So I'm going to start with my basic load. I'm going to go new load, and we're going to use structural concepts. Excuse me. Structural concepts as our customer. We know it's going to be LTL. Service is standard. PO number, let's say we're going to give it PO number 123 ABC. Because I know that the shipping location is going to be the same as our customer's address, 888, I can just click same as customer and it'll populate it for me. So Kathy Deary is our shipping receiving contact. Let's say this is going to be picking up tomorrow. The hours would populate if we did have the hours in the location or customer transportation profile. And I know I don't have a pickup appointment for this. I don't know where it's going right now. So let's just say it's going to Vancouver, BC. I'll have to change this to Canada. And remember to go back, to tab backwards, you can click Shift, Tab, and Tab to go downwards. So BC, don't know the postal code. And let's say it is expected to arrive next Tuesday. Because realistically, we know we're going to cross-dock this. So we're going to have more than one carrier, which is why we're using the free plan. So item description, let's just say it's a display. I'm going to tab over. I got 2,500 pounds written down. It's 6 skids, so 12 feet. I'm just going to put 6 handling units. So I'm going to save and quote this. Just give it a second here. And we're going to put our customer quote in and our carrier quote. Because I know that it's going to be a cross dock, I'm going to just jump to my carrier service, TBA. And let's just say that it's going to cost me, we know our carriers are Service Pro and X West. I'll open this up a bit more. So X West is going to do my line haul from Michigan to our dock at Dynamic Connections. And then Service Pro is going to pick it up from our dock in Ontario, in Oakville, and bring it out to Vancouver, BC. So let's say X West charges us $100. These numbers are wrong, I know. And Service Pro is going to charge us $200. I'll go back to my net line haul, $300. Calculate. The reason why we want to calculate and click off selected is because this way, when we go to send the customer the quote, we're able to see what the margin would be. So I'm going to save this carrier quote right here. And let's say I'm going to bill $495 to this customer. So calculate just so it totals at the bottom. And always just put in line haul. Great details. This is your free form field. 6 skids. I can put 6 at 48 by 48 if I want to, at 2,500 pounds. And then notes. Hi, Kathy. We can pick up this order for you tomorrow. Our partner is on standby. Something like that, whatever you'd like. So we're going to save this quote. Perfect. Customer saved. You see it up here? I'm just going to click save again just to make sure. Please wait. Sorry, we had trouble with your last request. It might have been because I've already saved it, so we'll just double check. So I'm going to go back to the load, and let's see what had saved. So we've got one customer quote, no carrier quote. So let's go back to the freight quote tool and see if this will let us save it now. The reason why I don't want to put X West and Service Pro is because it's saying that for this load, this pickup here from Michigan going to BC, that's what it's going to rate me is $100 or $200. It will not total it. So that's why we need to put in the totaled amount. Let's see if this will go now. There we go. Perfect. Success. Carrier quote saved. So now we're going to go back. So now we know we need to add in our cross-docket dynamic connections, which means we need to create a freight plan. In order to create the freight plan, we have to make sure that we have stops associated and locations with both places. So at that point, sorry, I jumped ahead. So the only time you build a freight plan is if you know that we won the order. So Kathy will say, yep, this is a go. Give us the information for the stops, and then you will update the stops accordingly. So I don't know what the location is. Let's see if it'll pop up if I type it in here. Russell. Yep, perfect. Russell Food Equipment. I can use either one. Doesn't really matter right now. So I'm going to select that one. Sure, Kyle will be that. So I'm going to click Save. And now we should have an option to add a freight plan right here. So before it was just add stops and line items. And because we had the location, add freight plan did not appear. But now that we did, we're going to click add freight plan. So this is your freight plan builder. This is the build view. So what it's done is it's added your pickup and your delivery location. So what we need to do is build in these stops. So we're going to check off the pickup and see how that appeared. Now add a stop. Now watch. See how this is grayed out? Add a stop. Check it off. Now I have an option. So I'm going to add a stop, which is going to be our doc, because that's what it says in our practice question number 1. Remember, if you guys have any questions, shoot me an email, tag me in a post, shoot me a text. And right now, as you can see, all these types and TMS types, we're going to be going through, we'll be cleaning this up when we push it all. So let's just say we select this one. So I'm going to add. So I'm adding a carrier stop. And we know right now from our order, we've got one pickup, one cross dock, one drop. So right now we've got our pickup, our cross dock, and our drop. Now I need to assign a carrier load. So what's happened with freight plans is you have your customer load, which is the standard load that faces the customer. So Kathy Deary at Structural is going to see their pickup at Structural and her delivery in Vancouver at Russell Food. She doesn't care about what's in between. But what we need to do is create some carrier loads to send to the carrier so they know where they're going. So I'm going to say this carrier is going to pick up from here and deliver here. So I'm going to go here to new carrier loads, like new load, and it's going to assign it a color. So every color that you have, I'm going to do another new load. Every color that you have means a new carrier. So in this example, we have 2 carriers. And look, we've got 2 colors. So right down here, they've populated new load 1, new load 2. As soon as I click save, it's going to generate 2 load numbers here. So remember, this is our customer load, and these are going to be our carrier loads. So see how they've populated? What I suggest is to right click and open these in new tabs. And what you want to do is do your carrier facing quote. Now remember, when we were doing the customer quote, I'm on the customer load now. We didn't use a carrier quote to show that we didn't do 2 of the carrier quotes because it wouldn't have reflected properly. But we know that the total is going to be 300 And if we want the details, we can just go to our customer quote. And right here, X West was $100 and Service Pro was $200. So I just clicked here to go to my carrier load. And I can see here it went from structural concepts to dynamic connection. So this is X West's load. So if I go to the freight quote tool on this carrier load, it's only going to show me the carrier quote. So here I know it's going to be X West, so I'm going to search for X West. X West LTL, perfect. They were $100. So I'm going to calculate it so that it drops down. And I'm going to save this quote. If I scroll down, I can tender this right away. And like a standard order, it's going to tender to the carrier the same way with the attachment at the bottom. Excellent. I can add any notes I want in here because this is free form. And I'll click send. Now I'm going to go to my other carrier quote, which is from Dynamic Connections to Russell Food Equipment. And here I'm going to go to freight quote because I want to add my carrier to it. And I'm going to select Service Pro. Sorry. Service Pro LTL. And they were $200. Calculate. Save quote. And let's tender this one too. Actually, we'll wait to tender this. So I'll exit out of my two carrier quotes. And I'm back on my build view. And if I want, if it's California Connections truck, I can right here, Cali truck. What is this week? 12, or no, sorry. 2/17/17, if I want. So that I know that's the date that it's just departing. You can label it whatever you'd like. Then what you can do is go to Save and View, because now this is going to bring you to your page that shows you the allocations, any other loads that are on here. So don't be scared about this screen. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So what this page is saying, this is our freight plan summary. Customer loads. So we've got one customer load, which is structural concepts, $495. Details. So we've tendered it. And then carrier loads. We've got two carrier loads here associated on this freight plan. So we can look at our quoted allocation, invoiced allocation, showing us what our margin is. So right now it's showing 100 or $395 because we've only got $100 in the cost. So we need to make sure that we tender this because it doesn't say anything. We've got quotes received. So from here I can open up any of these loads, customer or carriers. I can look at a specific load. And I've got my other details here. So X West has been tendered. This one's quotes received, so I have to book it still. But it's showing me my expected dates for delivery. So I can edit this right in here and put it. So I actually know that this is going to be back for the end of the week, so I can change that. And we know that this is actually going to pick up on the 17th and deliver for the 21st. So remember, when anything is orange, you want to always click save. So give it a sec. Perfect. So now we probably want to retender this because we changed the dates. So they've reflected it. And now we can we can tender this one if we want to. So when you're doing your updates, your carrier will reply on their carrier load and update it. And you will just need to update the customer load. So freight plans, they will get a little bit more confusing as we add more loads to them. And actually, I'm going to go to see, I'm going to see if I can find the one that I've done before. I believe this is my Titan one. Let me see if these ones are built. So here's a Titan order that I did. So sometimes it's easier to look at the actual build view I like looking at the build view. So I know I've got one carrier that's picking up at JMC, and he's delivering Purolator, Trudell, and then 2 either line items or possibly 2 stops to Service Pro. And then Service Pro is taking it from their dock and delivering it to this final delivery. All right. So that's one. So this looks like October 21st line haul. I believe I started putting it in. So you can see California line haul will get a little bit more complicated, but just make sure you're focusing. Take some time to look it through. You can look at the customer loads here. On the hover, you can click. You can open it in a new tab. You've got your margins here. You've got all your carrier loads, so you can see which ones you've dispatched, which ones you haven't, who's been assigned, who hasn't. So your load status. So tendered means still need to confirm that they've received it and that they'll accept it. Here you can look at more specific customer or carrier loads. So when you're updating, maybe it'll get a little bit easier. And let's look at the customized page for the California. So nice, beautiful colors. You can do your hover so you can see who it is. So this is all broken up by line item. So you can have one order. So this one, 3H, one line, one order, 543. And this one, 543. But because they're split by line item, they'll show up twice. And that's only because sometimes you can have one pickup. This one might have 2 drops, but it doesn't. It's just 2. So what I would suggest, if you have one pickup and one delivery and multiple line items, consolidate them into one line item, if you know what I mean. So let's see here. Let's try to walk through these. So carrier orange is going to be picking up at Brampton and delivering to our dock. He's done. Carrier teal, which I know is New Star, is picking up from this dynamic connection. So I think this is just supposed to be a different place. And then delivering to Republics after picking up all of these other items as well. So New Star is picking up here, 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 all of these, and then delivering all here. We've got, let's see if I can find out. So we know these are all Republics, but they each have their own delivery because it's going to a different place. You could ultimately add these all on one dispatch to Republics, but it would get really long, and it's probably just easier to break it out like this so you have all of your rates separated. If you ever want to see, who's doing this one, going to NSW, you can click into it by going here, or your customer load. And also the beauty is you can see, okay, we're only at 28 feet with this many orders. We've got 11 skids, 6,823 pounds, and there's 8 customer loads. When this says build status with a little check mark, it's just saying all of these carriers have been assigned to a load, or all the loads available have been assigned to a carrier. All right. So if you've got any other questions, please let me know. I'm available. Just text me first if you need to call me, or just text me and say, hey, Ash, can you call me? All right. We'll go through this again on Thursday. Please, please, please practice your freight plans and just order entry in general. Don't forget, we go live on Monday. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night.